Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Neighborish livecast. I'm Super Dave, aka Mr. Incredible, and with me, as always, two of the coolest people I know. Starting with our resident feminine energy, the personification of Black girl magic with the velvety smooth voice, Miss Aisha. How you doing?
Hello, David. I'm here.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. So thank you so much for. I know you got some stuff going on, so I appreciate you. Still joining us this evening.
Of course.
And my man, 100 Grand. I see he making use of his rights to the legalized cannabis.
Legalize it, recognize
Mike, what's
it.
up, brother? What's good, young man? How are you?
I'm glad to be here. Glad to have Miss Isha here. We have a wonderful guest. I'm excited. Young lady, let it flow. We are just winging it. Just be yourself. We just winging it, Ma. Let your hair down. Chill out, relax. I'm gonna let my hair down too in a little while.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna chill.
Yeah, get comfortable. We have a great show for y'all tonight because, as you can see, our guest today is someone who I've known since, I'll say since junior high. It's behind junior high school. I met this young lady, and since that time, she's not still in junior high school, but
I go back. You said junior high.
Junior high, right?
Like, she wasn't born in 1947, Dave. What do you? Come on, Dave.
I'm not that
Come
old.
On, Dave. Come on,
I
Grandpa.
did stay back a few times, but not that. On her website, it says it describes her as an innovative editorial hair maven. And I think that's dope because I'm always looking for good ways to describe people. And when you find something unique like that's just interesting to me. I love that it says that. She's one of the premier stylists in the DMV and up and down the East Coast. She got her cosmetology license from the Paul Mitchell Beauty School. Now, Paul Mitchell is like a standard in beauty, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
She's also a member of the Professional Beauty Association and the Natural Beauty Culturist League. She owns
it's a league?
It's a league. Yeah.
It's a league.
She owns and operates a beauty and grooming service entitled Hair Creations Mobile Beauty and Grooming LLC. You've seen her work in a couple of different places, from Sue Palka from Fox News, DJ Beverly Bond from Black Girls Rock, countless fashion shows and expos, Vogue magazine, Essence magazine, V magazine.
That's right.
Just to name a few. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Toya Pinkney is with us today, and we're so glad to have her here. Thank you for joining us, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Definitely, man. It's so good to have you here. I'm excited. Like, we had a little conversation via Instagram last evening, and I was just, telling her I'm excited to talk to her. And just to expound upon it a little bit, I think it's important that I always tell people that one of the reasons I do this show is to get people on here that I admire, that I see their grind and I admire it. And I want to not just, get them accolades and get them that, great job and that we appreciate everything that you do, but also have other people see, learn and grow from their stories. And so, it's dope that you're here, man. I can't wait to talk to you. Before we get into it, man, we got a couple of things going on in the city, in the country, in the world that we need to talk about, and we're gonna talk about them right now. Before we got on,
we're winging it, Toya. We're winging it right now. It's just go with the flow. We're winging it, okay? I don't know what you're about to talk about. Most time we don't know. Watch, you'll see. Watch, go, Dave.
Mike, we just had this conversation. We talked about your boy Lil Nas X.
Your boy Lil Nas X,
anyway.
Not my boy Lil Nas X.
Aisha said his album just dropped. You said it dropped today?
Well, I think last week. Montero dropped last week. Yeah.
Okay. Is that his name, Montero?
I do not know if that is his name, but that is the name of the album. So yeah.
Because Mike, didn't you see the interview, the Breakfast Club, the clip that you sent me? Didn't Envy call him Montero or something like that?
I won't lie to you. The clip that I sent you only encompasses the part of the conversation where he's expressing he's not being disrespectful to people's kids. He's saying, "Hey man, He's saying Charles Barkley. I'm not your kid's role model. If I'm your kid's role model, you're a shitty ass parent. So ultimately, that's what I sent you. You know.
Yeah.
He just says "fuck
so,
your kids," which I think is pretty awesome because some of the kids need to.
Anyway, but the way that's the way he puts it, but
he puts it really, really blunt, and I appreciate that in the sense of him being honest and real. It's just, you know, I am not mad at him. I ain't mad at him. You know what I'm saying? That brother working, making some money doing this thing, and you know, I don't think I like. It's the same thing about. I don't know how we got into this already. It's not about homosexuality or heterosexuality. It's when it's overt. That's my problem. That's always been my problem. If you're heterosexual and you were over, you were a flirt and you were a slut or a hoe as a man or woman, that turns me off. And if you are homosexual and the same, that repulses me. And I'm what is?
Okay.
Crickets. I hear crickets.
So the reason I brought that up though was to ask this question was, do you believe that artists have a responsibility when they know that kids are listening to them to censor or either alter their work in a responsible way to make it more suitable for young people to consume? You know,
ladies first. What do you feel, ladies? What's going on, Miss Toya? What would you think?
So I would just say I think that it's a little over. It's a bit overt. And I just feel like it's been shoved down the masses' throat, to be honest. Like, I'm not even going to lie.
Literally.
I admire the artistry. I admire the artistry and I do get it, you know what I'm saying? But it's almost like now it's to make it controversial and it's too much. So that's my opinion.
Understood. Isha, what you think? You think artists have a responsibility?
No, I don't. I think that's where the advisories come into play. As a parent, certainly, you know, you have responsibility to monitor what your children listen to. But in the same breath, you know, we used to listen to Akinelli and we used to listen to Two Live Crew and we used to listen to Dr. Dre and NWA. And, you know, these groups were literally the reason why we have the warning banners that you have now on music. So it's slightly hypocritical, you know what I mean? It's just it's been packaged for the 21st century.
I hear you. I feel like
I agree with her. Well, in the sense of artists are absolutely by no means responsible for what our kids listen to. I got a 13-year-old little boy. His birthday is 420, y'all. His father smoked more weed than a little bit. You dig? And I don't do it great. I don't do it for show. And it's part of my. Hey, y'all see me on this? I could be in a jail cell. You dig?
Right.
It's my buffer, unfortunately. And when I found out he's smoking weed, you know how I found out?
Would he hit your stash? What happened?
Hey, I will fuck him up. No. I spot checked his phone this weekend. Pick his phone up. You know, I got a little girl. I got 3 girls and a boy. 16, 14, 13, and my little one's 9. Last year, spot checked my little girl, and you know, we had to address that. Spot checked him, and this nigga got cheats. You know how I roll, and his you know what I mean? And the thing is, it's his family. He has older siblings who are looking out for him, and you know, they get him a little bit of weed here and there, whatever. And I'm like, damn, he's 13, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure, I don't want you to steer him down that way. And on the flip side of it, I need him to be honest and real and prepared for what's about to come his way. He's 13, right. He's a young black little boy, and he's up against a lot right now. So you have to be on your, like, the notion that you don't check your kids' phones, you're not in on the shit, you're an idiot. It's your phone. You pay the bill and the phone. It's your phone. It's not their phone.
Right. Yeah.
Privacy is when you pay for it and such. Like, you know, under your own address. And guess what? When I'm in your house, it ain't private no more because I'm stupid too. Fuck that shit. I'm a parent. I ain't never gonna
change. But so, Mike, do you feel like your the fact that you smoke influenced them at all?
I hope. My son was born on 420 and my daughter was born April 1st. Okay. My biological children, my firstborn child was born on April 1st. My son was born on 420.
Okay.
That's God. He meant to be a pothead, but not yet. Not yet.
I feel like the Lord didn't decide your child was gonna be a pothead, Mike.
First of all, I'm cultivating a man. I'm not making. We have enough, respectfully, y'all. We got enough niggas. I'm tired of niggas. I want a man. These little girls out here are working their butt off to survive because they don't see no man. And they don't see a reflection of themselves in a man who's hustling and getting it. I'm trying to raise a man. And
Right.
I'm tired of niggas.
That's an interesting point. I wonder if any of the ladies want to speak to that, the lack of, men out here. Toya,
I'm gonna agree with what he just said. That last part. All facts.
All facts. Isha?
Well, yeah, I think that a lot of men have seen their mothers toil and their fathers are absent. So the idea of a woman, toiling is not foreign. It's like, well, it was good enough for my mom, it's good enough for you. And I'm like, pause. We need to change, throw the whole script away, because that's not what this life is about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's still young guys out there. Oh, and that's interesting. That brings up a point. So, I work IT overnight on the weekends. Last night, I had a really interesting conversation with a young guy that works for me. He's like maybe 23, 24 years old. He's a real smart kid. He's one of the guys that gives me hope, because we see a lot of ignorance out here these days, especially with the younger generation. But
stop.
What's up?
When you say ignorance, you understand. I don't know if I've ever broke this down to you. I take ignorance in its rudiment, in its rawest form. The lack of knowledge. You lack knowledge. I'm okay with you lacking knowledge. I'm not okay with your stupidity and your disrespect.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, I agree with that. And the reason I use ignorance is because it's based in a lack of knowledge. It's like, and it's a lot of them don't have guidance and things of that nature. But some of the young people that I've met on this job, they give me hope, because it's like, it shows that it's another side of him. Like, he's a smart kid. He's focused. He got his head on straight. We were having a conversation about, so he married his high school sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? She is a chef, and she's working at this restaurant. She's around the same age. And the head chef at the restaurant who she's working under, renowned dude, a lot of people know him. He's really good at what he does, but he's an asshole, right? And so I was just looking at the difference between our generation and the ones before and the newer generation, because he was telling me how she had went to him a few times, like, look, I love learning from you and all this. I need you to be a little nicer. She went to him maybe 3 or 4 times. He didn't. She left. She like quit, right? And I'm like, that's interesting that kids these days understand more about, the importance of your sanity, of your health, your focus, your mental health, just and respect. You know what I'm saying? I think because I think a lot of times we stay in jobs or have stayed, or I know people who have done it, and they hate their job.
The generation of F that job. Quickly.
Yeah. I hate this, man. Every day you go to work, and we were having that conversation, and then this morning, the guy who came in to relieve us is an older gentleman, and he's of that generation. And he walked in. This is 6 o'clock in the morning. This dude is pissed. And it's like, how you wake up, man? I hate coming in this mother. Y'all need these niggas. They don't clean up. Somebody move my chair. He was just went on for 20 minutes about a chair, and I'm like, and that's and I was telling the young dude, see, that's the.
How old is he? How old was he?
He's in his 60s.
Well, he's close to retirement, so that's what.
He's got 40 some odd years of dealing with some bullshit with some lady in the bed who probably like, he's asking what he want for dinner and shit, and always gotta make a little toilet seat up and shit. Constantly talking about take the trash out. Stop asking what I want for dinner. I'm 400 pounds. I'm gonna eat all this shit. You know what I'm saying.
Mike, he go off on some personal stuff sometimes. I don't pay no attention to Mike. But anyway, my point was that it just illustrated the difference between that generation and what that becomes. Like what we learn from them about work, and how, like, I know a lot of people who feel like they have to go to work every day to a job they hate, and toil and pillage and stuff like that just to get just to be responsible and make money. And that's not the case at all. And so I was really happy to see that some younger people and more younger people more understand, like, I don't have to stay. I don't have to this. I can go somewhere else. I can find what I love to do, find out how to make money from it, and live my life and be good. And so, and that's why I'm glad to have Toya here today, because that's something she did. She, found something she loved, and it's really prospering for her. And that was just an interesting kind of, because, to see it right there in front of you, we just had the conversation about, it's more important to be happy. Your sanity is more important than any of this stuff, because if you go crazy or die from the stress, they just gonna hire another person, or and
Toya, have you had to navigate what he speaks to?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
I don't want you like cutting on throats or nothing, and we want you to spill the beans. But moreover, when you say for sure, what did you? I mean, can you express what you experienced and speak to it to some extent?
So, I mean,
I'm sorry, we done got into the interview already. We done got deep. I'm sorry.
No. I just feel like you gotta create. You have to, in my experience, I've had jobs where I did not like it. And for a long time, I just felt like I just didn't fit in. I didn't, my it was like, you too loud, you too ghetto, you too this, you talk too hard, you talk too this, you know what I'm saying? I never fit into the mold. For a long time, I just wasn't me. I couldn't be me. Right. And it wasn't until I got into the hair industry where I just found where I could be me, And so, coming into like auditing jobs and things like that, it was just a lot, And I just found something that I really truly loved, and it kind of gave me that sense of balance, because then I had purpose. When I was sitting behind a desk at the office, or when I was doing retail or working in a restaurant, it just wasn't me. I had to, I had to fit into that. And so sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but at the same time, I found a passion that helped me to exude, and find my real purpose. So that answers your question.
You like doing hair like that much for real?
Well, it's not so much as doing the hair part.
Yes, ma'am.
It's more about helping women to find who they are, their inner rock star, or their inner, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of women out here who suffer with, low self-esteem or self-confident issues. And so for whatever reason, I've had this passion to be able to, share different experiences I've had, and just bring that element of beauty out of them. So that's where, that's what it's more so about than doing hair. The hair is fun, and I love the technical stuff of it, but it's really about, showing women how to find their inner beauty.
And that's what's needed.
That's what's needed.
That's one of the best answers we've had on here since we began. That's dope. So since Mike,
I asked the question.
Mike asked the question. Okay, but since Mike jumped into the interview, there are some things that I want to ask you.
Okay.
Toya. No.
Okay.
So I want to start by going back, because you talked about your your journey, and I think it's important that people they see the level of success that you've reached, but understanding the journey and the things that you been through and made it through and survived and persevered is important, because life is so much about the journey. So I want to start at the beginning, when you were little Toya Pinkney, when you were a little kid and people would ask you what you wanted to be when you grow up. Do you remember what you would tell them?
I wanted to be an actress and a singer.
Okay.
That's initially what I wanted to become.
Okay.
When I grow up, I want to be a singer, or I want to be doing something on stage. That's what I want. Yeah.
And you did that for a while, right?
I did.
Yeah. So and had some success with it too, from what I see. A little bit. So was it that this passion of helping women find their inner beauty and their inner, their authentic selves. Was that just more for you? Did that just draw you more? Then is that what pulled you away from it, or?
No, I think it just kind of came by happenstance. I am a big drag queen fan, and so I had some friends who were in that circuit for a very long time, and I just so happened to be in the right place at the right time with one of DC's own drag queens, Shaquita Lee, and she offered me the role of young Tina. So I performed at Howard Theater 3 times. And it was a great experience. It was like one of the best experiences that I ever felt. It just was like, wow, just seeing how everything came together. Also, we performed at is it called the Arc?
The Arc in Southeast?
Not Southeast, on H Street. What is that called? On H Street.
35 H Street, like when you get your food stamps and shit?
No, that's not what you're talking about.
It's a theater on H Street.
I know, okay.
Yeah. There too.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm poor. That's right. I'm not.
Anyway, go ahead, Toya. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I mean, that was one of the best feelings, seeing it all come together, getting a standing ovation. It just, it just did something for me, for my confidence, which also helped me behind the chair too.
Okay.
So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Is that how you discovered your passion?
Say again?
Is that how you discovered your passion?
No, that's not how I discovered my passion. My passion was discovered by a trauma, and I just kind of moved it. I used that
turn to a positive.
Yep, I use that to kind of fuel it, into what it is now, or what it has been. Yeah.
And, when I went on the website, I'm a guy, right? I'm a guy.
Are you?
I'm about to talk about your mother, man. You know what I'm saying?
See, this is gonna turn into something else now. I'm just playing. Go ahead, ask your question.
Oh, guy. So when I go on the trip, I'm like, it's all elegant and pretty. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm ready to show it to my wife because it's all elegant and pretty. So I mean, when you go on the website, what do we find? It's really pretty and professional and smooth. So what do we find on your website? And where, shout it out, like get it out. Let's now and later on. So let's go.
So my website is www.toyapinkney.com. And so right now it's just generalized. I'm working on some things behind the scenes, get some things in place. But I just wanted to kind of showcase what it is that I do as a beauty professional. So right now it's just a professional website. I got some other things in the works, but yeah, that's what I wanted. I mean, I didn't have anything for a long time. So during the pandemic, I just decided to focus on the website. And this is the revamped version of what I created last year during the pandemic. So
I heard the terminology. I heard mobile. So you mobile.
I'm mobile. Yes, I am.
It's probably a necessity given the pandemic and whatnot. We're just giving the hustle and the grind, period.
It is. So how I came into that was that happened kind of like during the summer of 2017. I got asked to do a wedding, and I made a lot of money this week for the wedding. That weekend for the wedding, and I was like, damn, I could actually do this. And it was a great experience. I took that whole summer off just doing straight weddings. And then I got offered an opportunity to work on a platform to be able to go to people's homes, offices, and hotels. And so that's how that was kind of created. So I just kind of set the tone with my business moving forward as a mobile service.
Brilliant. It sounds brilliant.
Yeah, just being adaptable. You know what I'm saying? Noticing something that's working and being like, okay, let's switch up the business plan and make it this. And having the wherewithal as a business person to do that is something that separates the people who make it from the people who don't, obviously. So so I wanted to talk a little bit about like I said, the early Toya Pinkney. Do you remember the first person you styled, the very first person hair you did or helped style?
So I'm gonna take y'all back, and then I'm gonna bring y'all up to speed. So in 2016, well, I'm gonna say 2014, 15, I was a salon assistant to a well-known stylist at the time, and she had a really big clientele, right? And we had this conversation prior to about me becoming a hairstylist when I was assisting her. And I was like going from, I was temping and I would work here, work here. And so she had this really serious conversation with me and was like, won't you consider renting a booth and start doing hair? And so maybe I'm gonna say about 7 or 8 months later, she was murdered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's how I initially got into the industry. And it just happened kind of organically, but it was the trauma of that.
That was what you were talking about, the trauma. Okay.
It just kind of propelled into that. And so I found the salon, and I started doing, people that was coming home from prison, people who were coming out of recovery, people who were recovering addicts. I was doing kids. I was doing just about anybody who was growing locks at the time. And I was a natural hairstylist and a braider. So that's all I did. So I grew my business from just braiding kids' hair, twisting locks to where it is now.
Wow.
And I decided to go back to hair school in 2015. But I had already had a clientele. I had established, I had created a little oil line and everything like that. So just those words that she gave me after passing, it really helped me to see beyond, where I was and where I started. So I knew that I started here, but I knew I wanted to take it a lot further. And so that's what I did. I created a product line in 2008, and I kind of played around with it, and I would, sell it at different little, pop-up shops and hair expos and things like that. But 2015, I went to hair school, and I was selected out of 300 students worldwide. I was one of 300. And I was able to get mentored not once but twice by some of the top celebrity stylists in the industry.
Nice.
And so them pouring into me and them giving me inspiration and encouragement, it really helped me to set the bar of where I wanted to go. And so that's what I've been doing. I've just been, staying focused, and really trying to set an example. Because where I'm from, you don't really see that a lot.
Exactly.
You see stylists that are good in the area, but you never really see people in the area really surpass, DMV, and I was doing something that was totally different. Nobody else is doing it like that. So that's why I set my model up to be mobile, where I could travel to people if they're at work, if they are, in their hotel, they're getting ready for a big conference or a gala, or they're getting ready to go on TV and speak, or they're getting ready to do a podcast. I can get them ready for those particular events. I'm in and I'm out. They got their service. I got paid. They had a great experience, but it's all in the comfort of them. So I've learned how to niche down on that. And it took a while. And I still love being in the salon, but it's one of those things that I have been really praying about and praying that I'll get the ideal client, because I just moved from DC to Charlotte. So I'm praying about those right clients. What's that?
What's ideal?
The ideal client for me is like the client who's young, professional, on the go, that has to have a look. You know what I mean? the mom who, you know, has to go to work and has to look professional. Those are my ideal clients, you know. So their image, you know, I help them with their image, what they look like, what they want to look like.
Hey, you know I'm prettier than this with my hat off.
Okay, that's what.
You know that.
All right, Mike. Anyway, tell her. He does have some long, lustrous hair, but we're not gonna get into that.
Tell her I'm the most beautiful fat person you've seen like that.
Anyway, so Toya, you touched on a couple of things I would just go past Mike. You touched on a couple of things that I want to talk about. First of all, like, another reason that I do this show is to help, to educate, to, you know, help people move forward in their lives. And one of the things that we talk about a lot is change, evolution, and part of that process typically involves mourning of some sort, because, you know, mourning is not just about death, but anytime something changes, you know, you go through a period of adjustment, of mourning, of whatever it is that you lose. But to be able to take it from a person passing and take the lesson from it, and get what you're supposed to from it is
don't ever give up, keep pushing. That's all.
It's indicative of an evolved mentality, to be able to see the lesson in that, because everything that happens in life, I believe, is a learning experience. And
it better be.
It should build you and set you up to be better than you were. And so the fact that you were able to not only recognize that, but capitalize on it is huge. And one of my catchphrases, one of the things I always say is, take that victory, man. That's dope. And so, like, that's amazing that you've been able to build this empire. So one of the other things that you said that I want to ask you about, you talked about how you had already built your clientele and you were working and you know, experiencing a certain amount of success, but you made a decision to go back to school. So can you talk a little bit about, even though you already had your clientele, because some people would be like, look, I'm dope, I don't need nothing. Like, what went into the decision to go back to say, let me learn to be better at this craft?
Good question.
You know what? When I went to hair school, I was 35 years old. Mm-hmm. I was in there at that time. My son was probably like 18 at the time. He's about to be 23. Mm-hmm. So I was in there with kids that was my son age, you know, or they had just got out of the military, or they were just trying to restart their career or just have something to do. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it was like I had a whole salon suite. I had a business. I was actually running a full clientele, and I'm going to school full time. But one of my instructors told me to do what's necessary to set myself apart. You want to be the cream of the crop. You want to be set apart no matter where you go.
Exactly.
And, you know, life is going to happen. Things are going to, you know, they're going to happen.
Right.
But you got to know what your purpose is. And when she told me that, it had me thinking, like, what do I want to do? Because I still didn't know exactly what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. It just kind of happened the way it was going to happen. And one day I realized that my overall purpose is to be able to travel, spend time with my family, and to just be able to have that freedom and flexibility. I tell people all the time, like, freedom and flexibility is the way. So that's really, you know, how I just came to be. I just set myself apart, and I'm still doing that. But, you know, from 2016 up until now, you know, all of those different things, it was because of that one thing that she said to me. Wow. And that really helped me.
Yeah. That's dope. You also mentioned about setting yourself apart. You said that a few times. And one of the questions that I had was, you know, in this area and probably all over the globe, it's a lot of, you know, the beauty and grooming, cosmetology, that job, that position is saturated to a certain extent.
It's competitive. It's a lot of women.
It's a lot of women.
It's $1 billion industry. It's
So
money.
there's money. So you say it's money. It's some money.
Yeah, but
we all can eat. What happens is we adapt this me mentality, right? So right now, I'm not even really doing hair. What you see on my Instagram now is just, me going through a transition, me healing from my own personal traumas and trials and things like that. I'm not even talking about hair, even though you can clearly see that that's what it is that I do. I am doing my own personal healing journey. So whether I become, a speaker or coach for, hairstylists in the beauty industry, I've struggled with issues of mental health, those different things. So it's like if hair is going to always be my passion, but I feel like there's a bigger purpose outside of that. Hair has just been the platform that has gained me the, sustainability, and people know me for doing hair. So
that's what I hear.
yes.
That's what I hear.
What do you hear?
I hear somebody might need to go back to school for some, psychology or something, because what happens is you need, and a couple times that I've been in an insane asylum, it's only twice. But it's only twice. Third time's a charm.
Okay.
You find the individual that's listening to you is either hearing you or they're listening to you. And either way, they might not be doing either or. But you're not crazy, motherfucker, because I know the difference. Okay. And therefore, I'm not crazy. So you might need to go ahead and go on back and hear some people, because it's like you got something to share more than just the surface, the makeup, the hair, and it's deeper than that, right?
It does. It's layers. It's layers to me. It's layers to what it is that I have, and so now I'm on that journey to kind of peeling it back,
figure it out. Yeah.
Figuring it out, and so I'm glad that I've established myself with over 4,000 people that follow me, so they can really see the pure essence of what it is that I'm doing and how it has changed and evolved. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when I talk to women, when I talk to men, I want them to see, especially in my industry, I really want to focus on the people that we understand the same language. You get what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of us behind the chair that deal with mental health, heavy, substance abuse, verbal abuse, and so, even though it's our job, we got to have a safe space for us, because we taking on everybody's burdens and listening to people's problems, but who's listening to us? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's definitely been an awakening for me. It's been a very liberating journey for me. It's healing, it's refreshing, it's so many different things, but at the same time, I really feel like I speak to the people in my industry. Okay. The most, and it doesn't take away from a person that's not in my industry, but that's who I really want to focus on. We look at the talent, we see the the edginess, we see the glam and all of that stuff. Yes, I've been published in Vogue and Essence and all of that stuff, but I was at a very shaky time when that happened, and this was just a few months back.
When you can enjoy shit.
I wasn't, because it was so many things happening.
Right.
So many things happening back to back. We're in a whole global pandemic. I thank God for my success, but I realized that those things I was really covering up a lot of insecurities. I was covering up a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, and people don't really talk about that. People really talk about those deeper issues. Just like this, keep it on the surface. You get too deep, it gets too eerie. I don't want to really unpack. I don't want to peel it back, because then it starts to get real, it gets real ugly. But healing is not pretty. It's not.
It's not. It's getting through that. That's the essence of healing, is getting through the ugly. to get to the pretty, you know. So, but I want to ask you, like you mentioned a couple of things. Again, I want to talk a couple of things that I want to touch on. So, you talked about how you know, the stylists, while they're dealing with their own stuff behind the chair, they're also taking on the problems and listening. So, that old, you know, idea that the hair salon is a place that women go, like that's almost like their therapy. They talk it out with their style, and you guys almost become like therapists to people, and you know, hearing all their issues, and it's like a community place. And I don't even know, like you know, if it's as much with guys, like with the barbershop to a certain extent, like we talk about stuff there, but I think
so.
You think so? Yeah,
I think that, you know, being in the beauty industry, your hair salons, your barber shop, we got our ears to the street. We know the fashion before you do.
Right.
We know what's going on with politics. We know what's going on with, you know, the street life. We know what's going on in media, social media. Now we have
you better.
So, you know, we are your, you know, your doctors, your therapists, and things like that. You know, your social worker. We got the hookup on this, or you know, somebody coming in the shop selling, you know, toothpaste and deodorant. Just all these different aspects.
Let me get that.
Let me get that. You know, and so I've been able to, you know, I can speak from the standpoint of working in a hood salon and a upscale salon. So I have the understanding,
that perspective,
of both. I've literally had the best of both worlds, and so right now where I am, I'm trying to learn how to bridge that gap, but I gotta work on me so I can be able to speak to these groups of people as well as these groups of people.
Yeah, well, we definitely looking at your social media and you know, paying attention to that. I definitely see that evolution and that metamorphosis happening within you, and it's dope. You talked about you know, your healing journey that you're on, and I see your posts and things of you doing things like meditating, or you know, the little the sayings and things, or the posts that you put out there focused on, you know, self-care and healing and things of that nature. So I know that things like that, you know, sometimes we don't realize how much we help others when we do stuff like that. Do you think about that when you're posting it? Is it just for you, or do you think about how much, like, there's always somebody that needs to hear what you're saying, you know, and so how much you helping?
I'm definitely posting more with intention. And I'm definitely, you know, asking, you know, my higher being, you know, the Most High God to really direct me on, you know, finding my tribe, you know, coming to a whole new city. You don't know anybody. I don't know a lot of people here. I don't have a clientele. So it's just, let me just be who I am, and the people, you know, my vibe will attract my tribe. You
100%,
know, so
yeah.
I just be me authentically each and every day. You know, if I'm, you know, slip up, I just get up and do it again. But I really try to tell women, like, perfection is not permitted over here. So if you're looking for perfection over here, you're not going to get it.
Right.
You know, make mistakes. Yeah, it looks nice and glamorous on IG, but it's not pretty. You know, and I always tell people that healing is not pretty. This journey is not easy. You have to do the work. And we see people, you know, we see the reels, and we see people hopping out of, you know, Teslas and flashing money and all of that. But it's like, okay, well, what are you really covering up? You know, talk about those things. But to answer your question, I really have been trying to be fully intentional when I post, and I've been getting a lot of DMs from women like, man, you really are encouraging and inspiring. So if I'm reaching you like that, then I guess I'm doing my job. You know, I'm reaching you in a pure way, and I want women to see that they don't have to try to find happiness in, the job, the degrees, or the boyfriend, or always catering to the kids. It's like, you gotta get back to you. Get back to
Comes from within. Yeah.
Get back to you, sis. And that goes for men too. I celebrate the men who are getting back to them, and it's like being vulnerable, not being a punk, not being soft. Get back to you as a man. You know what I'm saying? You can't be your authentic self for your children, your spouse, your work, if you're not good to you. Pour into you so you can pour into others. So that's just to kind of.
You're doing it right now, and the shit for free. That shit blowing me right now. Listen.
Yeah.
You pouring into
yourself right now.
You been talking to my wife?
No, you pouring into yourself right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but my wife, she's very observant, and she's like, Mike, what about us? You know what I'm saying? Because she see my love and my passion for the family, but when you don't pour into yourself, it's like you do become overweight, out of shape, under you don't even have no motivation. You know what I mean?
Well, so for a minute, let's unpack that, because I was 230 pounds, right? So I've done certain surgeries, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like back chunky again. Oh, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So it's to a point now that when the weight fall off this time, it's because it's spiritual weight. It's me healing myself, because really it's weight from issues that you never resolved. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I realized. I was trying to, cut it off and do all these different things. So it's like, now let me just heal from within in the way to fall off. And so, that's where I'm at right now. I'm not even trying to lose weight. I'm just healing,
Yeah.
So I would just say that start with you first, unpack that. What's the deep rooted issue? And then build from that. And I really think that your wife will be very supportive of you in that aspect.
Most certainly.
And you will see a change in her behavior, because you are her covering. So now she's following you. So that will be what I give to you on that. That's just some free. That's some free.
That's a free one.
Free game.
She got you some free, right? You got some free. Yeah.
Aisha, you hear that?
I do.
That
was some free game for you. But
I'm grateful.
Yeah, definitely, man. So again, you touched on a few things. I want to circle back to, because it's so much. But in your process of healing and understanding you, first of all, like I try to align myself with people who sound and who exude evolution, and that's what you like. I hear that in everything you're saying. Like it's and what I hear from you is someone who's been there and done the work. You know what I'm saying? Like
I ain't done all the work. This is work. It's work.
Yeah, but you've done some of it though, and so that's what I wanted to ask you. So we talk about the healing journey, and so the journey is from where you started to where you're trying to get to. In your opinion, how close are you to where you're trying to get to in the journey?
I'm so far away. I got a lot of work to do.
Okay.
I'm still unpacking,
Right.
I don't want people to think like, oh, she got it together. I'm some trash sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trash all the time, but I'm some trash sometimes, because I know me. So you gotta, it's almost like the things that we've been conditioned to learn in school, from outside peers, the streets, influences, social media, news, movies. We gotta unlearn those things to relearn something different. So me being able to, get to this point, I spent a lot of money. I've gone to therapy, personal and professional development, traveling all over the place. this money gotta work. You know what I'm saying? All these things that people have poured into me, it's like now I gotta start implementing. You know, I'm in coaching courses, and you know, it's like now the things that have been told to me, I gotta like utilize. I gotta implement.
Right.
Are you busy next week?
What you say?
Are you busy next week?
She's in North Carolina.
Probably so.
Well, you need to find the same time, the same back channel next week, and bring your ass on this show. Yeah.
I appreciate you guys, but no, I just want people to understand that I think a lot of times we rush it, you know. And for a long time I was really rushing the process, and sometimes when you rush things, you get a rush job.
Right.
You know, now it's like I wanna do things organically. You know, when I meet people like y'all, real cool, laid back. I don't feel like I'm nervous. You know what I'm saying?
That's great.
People watching me on my live, they like, or people who be watching the live, they gonna be like, oh damn, you know. And it's like I'm a real person at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah.
And I have issues. I have things going on. I'm tired of the cookie cutter. I'm tired of that. People respect you more when you are you. They
Definitely.
No facade.
Very authentic.
We shattering the smoke and mirrors.
I wish that's my problem. That's my biggest problem, because you know we say working professionally and doing different things on different levels. I put suits on, and I'm in there, and I'm not going to stand there and bark with that cracker talking about barking. Talking about some, we're number one. I'm like, oh, I'm going to punch you in your throat, bro. Like, I'm not.
You should be you. I think you should be you.
I'm not, man. I'm not going. It's not like I'm not. So
I like this. I like this. You look comfortable in this.
We are. We're comfortable now, but working in the working field. You know, trying to communicate and deal with. You spoke to it earlier. Trying to relate, not fitting in. It's not that we don't fit in. It's that they blatantly from day one, A1C nigga. And guess what? What happens is you piss me off, and I'm gonna show you, nigga. And it's like that's a light skin in me, perhaps. More so, I don't give a fuck. And it's like, and it's like, so it works in certain fields. Like I work in the garage with Dave brother. You know, well not now, but we work next to each other. And in the garage, it's the garage. You come in there with the bullshit. I'm gonna send your ass out with the bullshit. It just is what it is. I really enjoy it, but
I understand.
I love people, and I want us to do better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So just start with you first. Like I said,
right.
take away all of the distractions, and just get with you. Like get by yourself. You know, once you do that and see what's really going on.
How many kids you got?
I got one. I got one son.
I have 4. I can't do number 1, number 2 without.
Listen, bruh, when you go to get your pack of roll-ups, let me just say that, or whatever.
Yes.
Using that.
That's fine.
Head to the park, give yourself 30 minutes. No kids, no wife. That's your time. Yes. That's your time.
That's good advice, bro.
You got 20. Now wait a minute. You got 24 damn hours in a day. If you can't give yourself 30 minutes going to go get a ginger ale from the 7-Eleven, I don't know what's going on. Now you making excuses.
So like I said, that's some real good advice.
I'm giving you game. I'm dropping
it for free, Mike. For free.
I'm giving you free game.
I said
Mike.
That earlier, Dave.
Now I'm about to invoice you now.
Got to get a PO in this moment. What's your purchase order?
So Toya, you like you said, you giving free advice.
Giving them some game.
Can you think of the best advice you've ever gotten in life and business and anything? The best advice that you've ever received from anyone?
In business, the best advice a business owner told me: never take nothing personal. In life, my mentor told me nothing becomes dynamic until it's made specific.
Wow.
I just gave you another bar. More, man.
I'm gonna have to. We gonna have to pay you something, bro.
I'm giving you, and these are my quotes.
No, she said she sings, so that means she write too.
No, listen. Don't take it personal.
Right.
You got a song. You got a song.
Just write it down and make it specific.
She got a song, Dave. She got a song, Dave.
I don't.
You got a song in her, Dave.
Wait a minute, Dave. You play piano?
I do a little something. Yeah, I do music, like all kind of music.
I would like to.
I just need a little intro.
I'll make a little something for you.
I need a little intro.
I'll hit you up with something.
A little vocal on there.
Woo, 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 woo. No, but
Yeah.
I got you though. But you said you mentioned like when you said, because I knew about the acting, I asked you about that, but you said you also wanted to be a singer. Have you ever pursued that in any way?
I did. I sang background for a few little situations, and then I also sang in church. So we had a group back in the day called Anointed Praise, and I used to sing at all the apostolic and Pentecostal churches in the area. Okay. And we were a small church, so whenever my bishop would have to preach, we would go to these churches and just sing. So that's really where it started from. I mean, I've done the choir. I was, I did vocal training for like 7 years. I don't know where the training gone to.
You did vocal training.
I'll get on the karaoke mic, but honestly, if I wanted to, if I could wave a magic wand, I would probably go back through vocal training just to get my voice where I needed to be. But yeah, I did some singing.
Okay. Yeah. So you have some skills in acting and singing. So I gotta ask you, starting with the acting, do you have an all-time favorite actor, like somebody who's, like your role model in acting, somebody you look up to, you really enjoy watching their work?
I'm gonna say Denzel Washington. I'm gonna say I love Denzel because he's about him and Samuel L. Jackson. They're so they're about the craft first.
Right. Yeah.
They've just been able to monetize it, but I just think that they embody what actors really are. When it comes to that, they get into the role, and you believe in the character. Yeah. So I'm gonna say those would be like my top two.
Okay. Yeah. That's a strong top two. That's dope. That's dope. Okay, and now on the singing side, do you have an all-time favorite vocalist? Somebody you listen to the song anytime, day or night, angry, happy, whatever, like your favorite vocalist of all time?
So you know what? I'm gonna have to say right now, Murray is definitely in my top 5.
Mary J. Blige.
She's definitely, but I'm gonna go with Jasmine Sullivan as far as vocals, because she does a lot of runs and riffs. I love Kim Burrell.
Okay. Singers, yeah.
Yeah, I like people who can sing for real. Yeah. I mean, I like the Scissors and the Summer Walkers and the Janae Aiko's and all of them, but they kind of sing on a very surface level. I need you to have some depth. I need to know that you done went through something.
Right, yeah.
And that they haven't. I don't discredit them at all.
Right.
I think they are more so for this generation. But I would say Kim Burrell, I would say Mary, Jasmine Sullivan. I got a couple others, but those would probably be like, just to name a few.
Okay. Yeah. So if you weren't a hair maven, right now, and I think I kind of know the answer to this based on some of the stuff that you said, but if that wasn't your path in life that you had taken up until now, what do you think you would be doing?
I would have been a mortician.
I did not know you were going to say that.
Money.
No, yeah.
Everybody got to die.
I've had
They
that
got to
conversation
look
with a
good
few
when
people.
they do it. You understand me?
That's brilliant.
How many times you been a pallbearer, Dave?
The few more than I'd like to
Too
say.
many, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
but,
motherfucker look good. Guess what? Somebody had to get paid to do it.
Yeah.
So is that your go-to later on, maybe? You know what I mean? You got the stomach and the gut for all that. Would you later on in life just go ahead and go to it, make some money, make the investment? Because unfortunately, if you go to the inner city, if there's money.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say I was probably about 14.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably like 14 or 15 years old when I seen my first body. So, like I said, a lot of trauma, right?
Right.
And I too. But coming from a high violence crime neighborhood, and you see that somehow, your friends getting killed, and they was at the club and they got murdered and all of that. It was just like I wanted to do something that could help my people in that way. That was my thought process back then.
Okay.
And so it was like I want to work with the dead people. I knew that you could get a lot of money from it. And so I didn't know what all came with it. I just knew that was something I wanted to do. And so those are things that I never really talk about. That'll probably be more in the book. You know what I'm saying?
It's morbid. I mean, that's deep. I mean, so let me ask you something.
It is. But to answer your question, you asked what would I be doing? That's where it came from.
That's interesting. Yeah. What we gonna ask Mike?
I smoke weed, so let me remember. Give me a second.
You just said I'm
fucking with you. Shut up. Look, what's in her bottle? What she keep drinking? What she sipping on? That's water. That's juice.
Oh no, this is some water. I gotta stay hydrated.
That's some lemon juice. Lemon juice.
The goal is to drink water and mind your business. Get on the live cast with y'all and pop it up.
That's it. When we go into the money thing, that's one element of it. When you go into like really caring about individuals that passed and what it means to the family and stuff. So I think that's where it go into, because when you go into the inner city, most funeral homes are old. You've been there for a long while. And it's like, and you're grateful for them because they've been through what you're going through. Like I was yesterday at my best son's grave, so over in Glenwood. So it is what it is, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So my question, there you go.
You got it. You got it back. I knew you was gonna get it.
Here we go. Shut up, Dave. All right. So here we are. We 2021. The business is going where? We're mobile. We're not post-pandemic. We might be going into another world of constant mask, constant protection, and now you're getting in people's mix. How are you protecting yourself from that? How are you doing with that? Are you all right? You okay?
I mean, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I've managed to maintain and be COVID free. I've had several close friends of mine contracted COVID-19 virus. But yeah, I'm definitely masked up. I'm suited and booted at all times. It's very uncomfortable for me because again, I'm in an industry where I gotta touch you.
We right in you're my face.
I'm in close proximity to you.
You cutting my nose hair, my ear hair and shit.
I don't know about that, Mike. I feel like you do that yourself.
That's what they do.
I'm pretty close, but I would just say, right now, because I'm not currently doing hair like how I was when I was in the DMV, I'm just gonna let, like I said, I'm gonna let my vibe attract my tribe. So, if people want me, they know how to get to me. They know how to click the link in the bio. They know how to look and see what my work is hitting on. And I'm definitely looking forward to going digital on a lot of things, via teaching, educating on the skill sets and things that I've learned over, this last 17 years. Just showing people the ins and outs of what it is that I do, creating somewhat of like a curriculum so that people can learn different things if they decide that they want to go down that path.
Okay.
So if hair is not for me, then to God be the glory. He'll open up the door for me for whatever is next.
Okay.
North Carolina is a beautiful place, and it's
beautiful, man. I'm just I'm loving
air tastes different.
It's hitting different over here, I'm shipping. I mean,
Can I ask where you are?
I'm sorry. I'm in
Can I ask where you are?
I'm in Charlotte. Yeah.
I mean, it's something about when I was little and I went down there. My uncle is a Marine.
Okay.
He's stationed in Camp Lejeune, Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I went to sixth grade in middle school down there. When I come from up here.
Okay.
I get kicked down there, you know what I'm saying? I'm down there, I'm like, sometimes I dream he is me, like Mike, I mean, that's my thing. But in the school, in the class, I ain't from there. I don't sound like them. I don't look like nobody. And what the fuck are you? Are you black, white, Mike? What are you mixed? It was like, it was constant. It made me hate all of them. Like, all of them. Like it was like, it made me hate, it made me despise.
But you know what? Can I just say this?
Mm-hmm.
Those pains, you gotta use those as bricks. Mm-hmm. That was a tool that I learned in therapy. Those like how you said, I hated it. You know what I'm saying? That's from the gut.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta use it as a brick to build you up. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that. I was teased. I was the shortest one in the class. I had bubble eyes, all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, what? So now you use all of those things as building blocks. Whatever you hated as a kid, use it as building blocks.
I'm gonna have to send Mike. I'm gonna have to send Mike your cash app.
You know what? I got an invoice for you, Mike.
Hey, I'm gonna send him your cash app so you can send you a couple of dollars. So I want to talk a little bit about.
It's a reason why I'm still blazing up.
Anyway, so I want to talk a little bit about. So you've done two things that a lot of people, including myself, have been. Have thought about doing and let maybe more fear or you just uncertainty keep me away from it. One thing, I do some acting, but stage acting, I've never done it. And it's simply because if you do, like I've done TV commercials, I've done a couple of little shows, like background stuff. And then I've done a couple of more prominent parts, but anything on, on TV or that's a production, if you mess up, they can go back and do it again. When you're on stage, it's right there. It's instantaneous.
It's raw. It's lights, camera, action.
And that's that's something that honestly scares the hell out of me. Even though, and
I would prefer that. I would prefer that.
I've done like, I was rap for a while, so I performed. I did stand-up comedy. So, but it's something.
Whoa! You're doing stand-up. You ain't did. That's not past it. You're still doing it, Dave.
I did it once anyway, but
we're doing this.
That process, just learning, learning lines and being able to stand up there, and recite it and all that. Was as scary as I think it is when you're nervous.
So you know what? My debut, the very first time I did the show, especially at Howard Theater, we packed the place out. It starts with me. I start the whole entire show, right? Mind you, this is all lip sync. So you gotta know the movie.
The timing, yeah.
Verbatim, your parts of the movie. So it's like we're reenacting the movie via lip sync.
Okay.
So I am young
That'd be perfect. Wow.
I'm young anime. I'm on the stage. The lights are beaming. Wow. I can't see nobody. They looking right at me. And it was showtime. It was showtime. And I was like, it's go time. And for whatever reason, when I'm in front of a lot of people, whatever I've been feeling leading up to that point, it just come out. And so
Wow.
I remember feeling a level of relief. It's almost like a relief for me after it's over with. It's like you accomplished it, you killed it, you did what you needed to do. And it's definitely raw. So not like no editing, you can go back and clean it up. It's what you see is what you get on stage. But it's one of the best feelings. You know, my cast members, we all still stay in touch, and it was just a great experience. So that's what I would say. It's when it's showtime, it's showtime. It's showtime.
I'm afraid of what she described.
Why you say that?
Because I have kids, and my heart and my soul are my children, and respectfully, I have a beautiful wife in her spirit. Like, I love my wife. And I know the dedication that it takes to leave and do this. But I did a pantomime in like 7th grade, y'all.
Okay.
I was awesome.
When it's showtime, it's go time.
It ain't hard. I was like, I'm being myself, being in my skin. I'm not scared of you, somebody. I ain't scared of you, motherfucker. I ain't scared of none of y'all. And when you speak of the lights and you couldn't see nobody, well, hell, it's just me. Let's roll.
It's just me. That's what I'm saying. It's dark. I can't see.
You couldn't even see them. Yeah.
I ain't never scared.
I'm so fascinated by that process, though.
Yeah,
so
she said the way she described that. I feel like I was.
Yeah, you feel it, right? So, what kind of things did you do to like prepare? Like, what kind of stuff did you
rehearse? Goddamn it, she rehearsed.
I mean, besides that, like to get ready for that moment.
Song on point for everybody. She better rehearse.
So I was in the very beginning part. I had the choir scene. And you guys can see that on my Instagram. They got some shots of me doing that.
Oh, okay.
But so the choir's behind me, the choir instructor, we had to, have some, a little tussle and a little back and forth. But I just kind of embody how it felt being a little girl getting chastised. You know what I'm saying? And I understand how it feels to be pushed aside or not seen. I understand how it feels to not be heard. You know what I'm saying? So I use my inner child, my inner self, my younger self to embody the character. And so
tapped in.
I tapped in, and at that time I had hair, so my hair was pulled up in a ponytail, and everybody was like, "You look so young," and you look like a little girl. And so I really just tried to recreate, a young girl, trying to show her light, and that's where it came from.
So and how old were you when you did that? Because you talk about looking young and.
So let me see. This was probably we're in 2021. So this was probably like 2000 and maybe 2015.
Okay.
Maybe like I'm gonna say it's like 2014, something like that.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience. Would I do it all over again? I probably would. If somebody hit me up and say, "We want you to play a part," and we got a role, I will learn the line for it.
See, but would you come to DC, man? I'm doing some comedy skits right now. I wrote a series of comedy skits. I just finished the first one.
Okay.
So, yeah, man, I'm with you. I got something for you.
Listen, I love that part of the craft. I mean, I'm into the arts, period. Okay. But I like to tap into different parts of artistry, not just hair. I people say I'm funny, but I'm just being real honest. I don't really think I'm like hilarious, but people think it's funny because it's real. Yeah. But if I got a part and if I could do it, you know what I'm saying? I love stage acting, but I mean, if the opportunity came about, I'd do it.
Yeah, I got something for you. I'm gonna reach out to you. So the other thing that you did, it's something that people sometimes don't get an opportunity to do, or sometimes that fear stopped them, is relocating. So you uprooted from where you were and moved to a whole new location, and so first of all, and I don't want to get too personal. If it's too personal, you don't have to answer it. But can you talk about what went into the decision to leave DC and move to? You said what?
Moving to Charlotte?
Yeah, moving to Charlotte.
So I get asked that question all the time. So of course, last year was the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when the healing process really began. Because I couldn't work, and I'm like a crazy workaholic. I feel like I did a lot of hiding behind my work.
That was your comfort zone.
It was like my safe haven. It's like where I'm really appreciated. Not saying that I wasn't appreciated on the other side of things, but I think I gave a lot of my career and what I did for a professional more attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's where I felt like I was being fed. So, pandemic hits. People are just, all of these different things are happening. Everything is COVID. They're like shoving it down your throat. It's really happening. Grandma passed or auntie passed. This person passed. People that you know. And when it started, it went from overseas to California to Maryland.
Right.
To Northeast.
Right. Down the street. Yeah.
It was just so many things, and it was happening simultaneously.
Right.
So I think I fell into a depression. I think I had a nervous breakdown. You really got a chance to see who you really were in the lockdown. Got a chance to see who other people were in the lockdown. So now you can't really fake because you can't go nowhere. The whole world is locked down. So everybody who was stunting couldn't stunt no more.
Right.
Everybody who was faking and capping couldn't do it no more. Right. And I was just looking like, man, what am I doing? I was like, am I capping? Am I faking? Am I being fake? What am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Because we'll scroll, out of boredom or just seeing what people doing, being nosy in the comments or whatever. I'm only talking about myself. I ain't talking about nobody else. But that being the case, I said to myself, I'm getting ready to turn 40 years old. I have been effing up for the last 15, 20 years of my life. I've been trying to figure it out. What if I just up and left? And I was toiling with it, back and forth. And then my brother, right under me, he had his first baby. So I'm FaceTiming my nephew every single day. I'm like, oh my God. And then my other brother, he was getting ready to have a child. And so I came here for Thanksgiving and fell in love with my nephew. I was just like, I just feel like there's a sense of longing for family, bonding with my siblings and recreating my own narrative, rewriting the story for myself, and just really giving my nephews a better version of myself, giving my son a better version of myself, letting my brother see how I've evolved. And so my 40th birthday, I said, I'm moving to Charlotte.
Just made the decision.
So that was like I think that was like the turning point for me, being in the pandemic. It was like, I'm turning 40. What am I going to do? It was like, I don't even have no hair. I was feeling like I was pulling my hair out because I didn't know what I want to do. So I made the move. I'm happy I made the move. It's scary, but I really feel like it's going to be worth it in the long run. I'm enjoying it. It's a great experience, a great city.
Charlotte, I've been coming, the whole area is.
So yeah, they need me. I think they need me here.
I think that that's dope though, man. You like a superhero, man. You fearlessly making these moves, and it's so interesting, man, what you said about turning 40 and kind of looking at your life and the idea of your the perception of yourself as opposed to what people see, because looking at all that list of accomplishments that I read in the intro and all of that stuff, and you would assume from looking at all that you're in a great place and you're fulfilled and all that, but you still have dealing with this type of inner turmoil. And I think it's dope to be able to express that so people understand that they're not alone, that everybody deals with those feelings of inadequacy, of what the hell am I doing, of where's my life going, things like that. And it's okay to feel that way. And just making the effort and taking those steps towards healing is so dope. I'm so glad that you are sharing all of this with us, because I feel like it's helping somebody. And that's
that's where the magic happens that day.
Yeah, definitely.
People need to see you at your worst so they can really appreciate you when you at your best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or understand that there was a worst. I don't know if they need to see you, but just understand the journey, because they see.
I know what she means.
And that's what I'm saying. I see you as it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you get highlights from, still be transparent, but just show people like there was a downtime. There was a time when there wasn't no clients. There was a time when I was figuring it out, shampooing for other stylists. I don't have no problem with humbling myself in that way. Another person may not feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Getting another job, doing something totally different or outside of your comfort zone. You gotta do what you gotta do what works. But some people don't tell that part of the story. It's like, oh, I just went from here to here.
Right.
Here. Yeah. That ain't my story. I'm from Southeast DC. I'm from the projects. I got it out the mud. So you gonna see how we got it out the mud.
Yeah, all of us are. So even Aisha had to step out. She had a work call, but she's from South Carolina, but the hood in South Carolina. So, but we all from the, everybody's
not from the hood though. Everybody's not from
right.
But I want to speak to that individual that can relate.
And that's what I was saying.
What irritates me is like, I'm tired of the badge. Like I don't wear the badge. I understand. Huh?
What badge is that?
Or the like I don't carry it as a shield. Like that's my protector. That's my armor, because that's my go-to, because I'm not of the hood or from the hood. That's where I come from. That's where I know.
Yeah.
And it's what I know, because I know it. We've survived it, and I still love it. I'm never going to apologize for loving it, because it's not, whether it's me or not. It is what the fuck it is. I mean, that's what it was for me, and it is for me. And my kids, they have no idea. They got no idea what a can with a pig on it means. They have no idea.
That's the beauty in it. I create the narrative for my legacy. So my nephews don't even have to deal with that.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
So when I'm saying it that way, they don't know what that looks like. They don't know what a candy lady is. They don't know what an ice cream truck is. I mean, not the ones that sell roll-ups.
No, Thursday in Congress, you did.
You know what I'm saying? So I just always, and not even glorifying it, but just speaking.
It's a beautiful thing. I love that goddamn. I
speak to those individuals who understand that particular struggle, because I know they ain't had that struggle. You know what I'm saying? But they had other struggles. Struggles are struggles, no matter how you look. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say it like that. But I'm never gonna highlight and be like, oh, it started here and then we went here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's some bullshit.
Right. It was a journey. And the beauty is in the journey, the process, all of the lessons. Absolutely. That you get, invaluable lessons. You see people you know, doing the same thing, you know, banging their head against the wall, trying to figure something out, and they keep, you know, they're not learning the lesson from the actions, and so they keep going through the same cycle over and over again.
Talk about me, Dave.
Well,
Dave.
hey, look, I mean, you know, if the shoe fits.
I know what you mean.
That's why that's why people like you and I might gotta break the cycle.
That's right.
Because that's what we were in, the cycle.
Yeah.
So it's like at some point, when do we get off the hamster wheel? I'm tired of being on the hamster wheel.
Tired of the rat race. I'm tired of this shit. I'm sick of this shit.
What I'm saying. Recreating a different dynamic for yourself, recreating the narrative, rewriting the story.
You're the author of your story. Yeah.
Like, look, I'm tired of that. What does this look like? Because I see people actually living their best life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, when am I going to live my damn best life? You know what I'm saying? When is it going to happen for me? So it's like, you got to start doing some unpacking, really, like I said, going back to what we talked about in the beginning of the conversation, that healing journey, you know what I'm saying? Getting down to the core of what's important, figuring out what you want, figuring out what it is that you want to, leave behind. And really, ultimately, how do you want people to remember you?
Right.
How you want people to remember you is how you need to recreate the narrative. So that's what I'm doing now.
Because that's
your question.
Go ahead, Mike.
How many of your clients, respectfully, do you really wish would absorb that? And there would be so much all for the better. Is it all of them? Give me a percentage. Because some folks just want to be made up for the moment, and some folks really need to be made feel good, and they're not good no matter what you do to their head, their neck, their tail. It don't even matter.
I'm gonna say a good 85%, man. I've seen everything from people having to go through divorce, children graduating, marriages, surgeries, illnesses, recovering from, after remission, things like that. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some really deep, dark shit, but seeing those things and trying to help them to repair it, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So yeah, you can put the, put the facade on, but do you really feel good on the inside? What does the inside feel like? I can put this makeup on, but what do I really feel like? I mean, I'm good without
makeup.
Yeah.
Make up.
If I take this makeup off, I'm still me. But I had to get to that point, and I really wish that clients and just people in general just get back to the basics, like get back to the core level. I mean, it's like we got to disassemble these facades, man. The mask is on real tight, and so that's all I can say about that. But yeah, to your point, like 85%.
I'm gonna say more. I can say more because we talking about disassembling facades. Yeah, I have three little brown girls.
Yes.
All of them are beautiful. It's irritating as shit because I know what you do with beautiful girls.
Yes.
And it's like, but they're all
different,
unique and beautiful, intelligent, and ultimately, there's no facade in this house. No.
Well, that's good.
It's a dime. Your beauty is a dime a dozen. What's inside your heart and your soul? That's what makes you beautiful. And guess what? Your titties and your ass are a dime. I can buy those for you or someone else or from someone. It's not a problem. Who are you? And it's fucked up because I don't think you say that to your son. I don't ever tell my son, man, hey, look, don't buy no packs. You know what I mean? What you tell him, you know what I'm saying? My son told somebody a couple weeks ago who put a knife on him. He said, you need a bigger knife. I said, you need to shut the hell up. It don't take but 3 inches in your big ass. You know what I mean? We got kids that's going through some things right now.
Yeah.
No serious thing.
We got to continue to pray for our, our youth, our young people, and things like that. But just continue to pour into them and elevate them and edify them each and every day. Let them know that they are loved, they are cared for, that they're beautiful, that they're pretty. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of women out here that are being edified by a man and seeing their dad present. So for you to even be present with your amazing wife and loving on your beautiful daughter.
I seen his inbox told me that.
Oh.
This 14-year-old little girl is beautiful.
What?
And she got her hoodie zipped down and her bra out. I'm like, Mommy, I want to recover the phone and the number and call her parents. And, that's where I'm at with it. I'm dealing, I want to address her because I'm like,
I think you should.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Should.
It's difficult.
That's a tough spot, though.
I found this in his phone.
He feeling, but I think
I found this in his phone. That's where I'm at with it. Like I need to go holler at him at her mom or her dad because forget is she beautiful. I need her to understand. He put this it's in his phone. He got it out of a group chat. Mommy, everybody's seen this, baby. You don't gotta do all that. Like,
yeah, it's a lot of that going on, though.
You gotta do all that. Like, man, you worth more. And she's not my daughter. It's like I know, and so I'm trying to put something in him to where I find it in his phone. He's 13, and I'm gonna tell you, man. Who knows? Respectfully, Dave, when there's a duality in parenting, the notion that you're not checking your 13-year-old phone is fucking blasphemous to me. Like, it's not their phone. It's not their phone.
But to your point, it's such a double standard, though, because boys can get away with so many things.
No, we haven't. I know what you mean. You're right.
It's more acceptable,
isn't it?
Boy, no. And listen, it's more single moms than you present. So let's start.
Right. Yeah.
So let's take you out of the equation. If it was the roles were reversed, I'm just saying in most families, in most cases.
Unfortunately, you're right.
Unfortunately, the boy will always get the pass. The girl will get the rebuttal and why are you doing this or
the scarlet letter.
All of that.
Yeah.
All of that. So that's the point that I'm making. To the point of you keep edifying your babies, your girls, your daughters, even your son. Just to let them know that they are loved and they are amazing and things like that. That's the reality.
Ultimately, that's the difference too, right?
I would definitely check in with the young lady's parents because it's inappropriate, number one, and she needs to be checked. The child.
I'm afraid for her. I'm afraid for her because this is not my first go around with teenage girls. My son has siblings who are older than him. By a decade, who they're awesome kids. They love their little brother, but they made some bad decisions here lately. So it's an awesome dynamic. It's a process we all going through, and I share it because, like you said, it's real. It's real. It's going through. We all going through something.
For sure. And so, with that being the case, you'll be able to help some other parents that have that same issue with their son or their daughter because you've already gone through you're going through the process. So
and I'm not in jail. If I go to jail.
But see, that's what we said. We don't want you going to jail.
Trying to keep you out of jail, Mike.
You understand? Like, if somebody messes your child.
For sure.
Where you going? I raised my hand. It was me, Your Honor. I cut their head off and gave it to their mother in their lap. I don't give a shit.
Oh, come on, man. But yeah, I mean that's the whole parent thing.
Anyway.
Yeah. Mike's really a teddy bear. He's not a. He's just
I'm a father. I'm very protective because of where I come from.
Yeah.
If my child do wrong, I'm gonna give you their head. I'm gonna give you their head in your lap. No, but if my child, you don't bring no harm to my children, man.
So with that being said, I think the weed is getting to Mike right now, so that lets me know it's time to to wrap it up, man. Thank you so much. This has been such a great conversation.
Did you have fun? Was you yourself?
Oh yeah, this was dope. Y'all,
man,
this was
thank
so
you,
dope.
man.
Thank you all for making me feel relaxed. Cause I told him last night, I was like, Dave, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Put you back next week. Can we have her back next week? She's not busy.
But yeah, we'll talk about it. But we have other guests coming on. Mike's trying to produce the show now. But yeah, man, like I said, in our Instagram conversation last night, man, it's just, it's we try to create a fun atmosphere, but I want to also emphasize how important you are, how important your story and your journey is to be heard and be told, and how much help and education it can be for someone who needs it. There's someone out here who needs to see you and hear you say the things that you're saying, because it's a lot of people going through things that we'll never know about, and your words, and that's why when I saw like your Instagram posts and stuff like that, and how you you focus on self-care and self-preservation and evolution, and that's what really drew me to it, because that's so needed and important right now. It's a balance to a lot of, because it's so much out there. You see all the stuff out there that is that people are privy to, that people see every day, and that kind of stuff wears on your psyche. So to have that balance, to have somebody saying no, take the time for you, make sure you straight, like I said, you're showing you setting healthy boundaries, and just and working to be the best version of yourself. And so that's dope. It's not in vain. It's recognized. It's appreciated. And I know you probably don't do it to hear it, but I want you to hear somebody say thank you. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for everything that you do. So with that being said, there's 2 questions I ask everybody that comes on here. So before we go, I have to ask you. The first one is, if you had an opportunity to talk to, in the beginning of the interview, we talked about little Toya Pinkney. If you had an opportunity right now, everything you've been through, all the wisdom you gained in your life, if you could go back in the time machine and talk to, let's say, 10-year-old Toya Pinkney, what would that conversation be like? What would you say to her?
It's okay. You're going to be fine. You are safe now. You are loved. You are appreciated. You are accepted. You are a queen. I would just tell her she's safe. She's protected. I would say that.
So that's a powerful word, safe. Because I mean, everybody wants to, even I talk about the little fears I have with like the stage acting and the relocation and things like that. And I mean, it all comes from that need for safety. So that's such a powerful message. That's deep. That's deep. And so the second question that I ask everybody, so you've done the stage acting, you've sang, in church and different places, you've you're a hair maven, you've had people seeing you do your job, you've been in a lot of situations where there are a lot of eyes on you, where people see you. When people see Toya Pinkney, what is it that you hope they see?
An overcomer. Somebody who's persevered, like through adversity, through hardships, through loss, through wins. Being a teen mom, having a son with special needs. Like, I could use all of those different aspects as an excuse, but there are no excuses. So I would just say, an overcomer is what I would like for people to see. Somebody who's overcame adversity and that's still overcoming adversity. But that's what I would like them to see.
That's dope. Yeah. Yo, man, your light is bright and beautiful, and it's meant for so much. I see so much good stuff for you, man. I'm so glad that we had a chance to have this conversation. Thank you. I know you're busy and you're doing a lot, so I so appreciate you taking the time to come hang out with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this, guys. This was great. It's great to see young Black kings out here doing their thing, and just, allowing me to come and just share my story, how it all started, where it's going, where I'm at right now. A lot of people have been on back and forth on my IG and Facebook, but I'm definitely excited to see more of the show as it evolves. I'm proud of you, Dave. Keep doing your thing, Mike. It was a blessing to meet you and talk to you. I pray that you continue on your journey, and I just send nothing but peace and blessings to you guys.
Thank you so much, man. With that being said, on behalf of myself, Super Dave, aka Mr. Incredible, my brother Just Mike, Aisha, who had to step out, and our illustrious guest, the incomparable, beautiful vessel of evolution, and I'm just trying to think of good stuff. Oh, wait, no. The hair maven. Miss Toya Pinkney.
God did it. God did that.
God did it, yeah.
God did that. I get no glory. I get no credit. I give all praises to the Most High.
Amen.
Thank you for having me, Dave. Y'all have a blessed night. And I'll be tuning into the show. This is a dope platform. So much success.
Thank you. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Neighborish Livecast. We'll be back next week with more interviews, more entertainment, more education, and more fun. Take care of yourselves and each other. Have a great week, and keep growing, keep shining, keep grinding.
Good night, guys.
Good night.